What I admire about Dostoevsky is his clarity of humanity, his ability to enter the mind of his characters and his readers so deeply that you begin to forget whether you're reading fiction or encountering a real person. He understood humanity so well that the boundary between character and reader collapses. You don't just observe his work, you almost participate in it. And Dostoevsky understood that suffering is the root of meaning in life, not as an abstract idea, but as something lived, endured, and wrestled with. His own life was saturated with it: epilepsy, poverty, doubt, prison, faith. He touched nearly every form of human suffering, and because of that, he touched his readers just as deeply. That is why I'm creating this painting of him. Dostoevsky was born in 1921 in Moscow into a world where suffering was not distant or theoretical. His father worked as a doctor in a hospital for the poor, and from a young age, Dostoevsky was exposed to illness, desperation, and death. This early proximity to human pain shaped him. He didn't grow up imagining suffering, he witnessed it. As a young man, he turned to literature. His early success came quickly, almost unexpectedly, and for a time he believed that many young intellectuals believe that ideas, reason, and social form could save humanity. He was drawn into political discussion groups, radical thought, and visions of progress. He believed that if society could be redesigned, people themselves could be remade. That belief nearly ended his life. In 1849, Dostoevsky was arrested for participating in a socialist discussion group. He was accused of conspiring against the state and sentenced to death. He was taken outside, lined up before a firing squad, and prepared for execution. He believed with absolute certainty that his life was over. At the final moment, his sentence was revoked, part of a scare tactic by the government. That experience never left him, though. Instead of execution, he was sent to a Siberian labor camp. 4 years of hard labor among criminals, murderers, and men discarded by society. In that place, Dostoevsky's illusions collapsed. He saw firsthand what happens when people are reduced to ideas, when ideology replaces conscience, and when human dignity is stripped away in the name of order or progress. Siberia changed him completely. It was there that he returned to faith, not a comfortable or sentimental faith, but one forged in suffering. He came to believe that human beings are not saved by systems or by reason alone or by promise of a future utopia. They are saved by responsibility, by compassion, by confronting their own capacity for evil. This understanding became the core of his work. Dostoevsky had unmatched ability to inhabit the inner lives of his characters. He didn't write symbols or archetypes. He wrote minds. He understood guilt not as something external, but as something internal and corrosive. He understood doubt as something that lives alongside belief, not in opposition to it. His characters wrestled with God, morality, freedom, and themselves in ways that felt uncomfortably familiar. When you read Dostoevsky and begin to recognize parts of yourself you didn't want to see, what makes his work so powerful is that he never simplifies suffering. He never romanticizes it. He understands that suffering does not automatically make people good. It reveals who they already are. It can lead to compassion or cruelty, humility or pride, faith or nihilism, and every person must choose. After his return from Siberia, Dostoevsky became a critic of both tyranny and revolution. He rejected oppression, but he also rejected utopian ideas. He warned that when people abandon God, conscience, and moral limits in the name of progress, they do not become free. They become capable of anything. Decades before the Russian Revolution, Dostoevsky foresaw its own violence in his novels. He explored societies where suffering is justified for the sake of the future, where murder becomes logic, and where ideology replaces the sacredness of the individual. He understood that when human beings are treated as means rather than ends, catastrophe follows. History would later confirm his warning. What I admire most about Dostoevsky is that he never turned away from the darkest parts of humanity. He didn't offer easy answers. He didn't try to resolve tension where it couldn't be resolved. He believed that to live fully, one must confront suffering, doubt, guilt, and moral responsibility head on. And yet his work is not hopeless. For Dostoevsky, faith is not certainty, it is courage. It is the decision to believe in meaning despite suffering, to choose love despite freedom's terrifying weight. He believed that human dignity is preserved not by eliminating suffering, but by responding to it truthfully. That is what I'm trying to capture in this painting. I'm not painting Dostoevsky as a saint, although he does look like one, or a hero, or a philosopher above humanity. I'm painting a man who understands humanity because he suffered alongside it. A man who entered the minds of others so deeply that his characters feel more real than many people we meet in real life. Dostoevsky reminds us that suffering is not an interruption of life, it is life, and meaning is not found by escaping it, but by facing it honestly. That is why he still matters, and that is why I'm painting him.